Hey there, and welcome again to Morning Manna. So I got a question for you. Have you ever been in a restaurant and observed someone sitting alone? While we probably all need to get more comfortable being alone, when we see someone in public eating alone, it stands out. Why is that? Well, I think it's because the table is almost inherently communal. It's the gathering place of shared relationship, shared time, and shared provision. So we take notice when someone is absent from the table, but we're also alert to those who are excluded from the table. As we focused on Psalm 23:5 this week, a particular story came to mind. In Luke chapter 19, we meet a man named Zacchaeus, and we're told that he was the chief tax collector, and he was rich, which means he was good at his job. And that also means that he was despised in his community, because being a rich tax collector probably meant that while he was taxing the community, he was overtaxing them to pad his own pocket. Zacchaeus was definitely not on the invite list for the annual barbecue bash. Zacchaeus heard that Jesus was coming to town, and he wanted to see what this Jesus was all about. Only problem was he couldn't see over the crowd because the text says that he was small in stature. So undeterred, Zacchaeus climbed a tree and waited for Jesus to pass by. In verse 5, it says, "And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and said to him, 'Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, for I must stay at your house today.' So he hurried and came down and received him joyfully." Now, the religious leaders were outraged that Jesus would eat with Zacchaeus, a man who had betrayed his community. Because when Jesus did so, he was signifying that he was inviting Zacchaeus back to the table of fellowship. Now, as you read on in the story, you learn that Jesus' invitation is actually what moved Zacchaeus to repentance. Psalm 23:5 says, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemy. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows." So I just want to say, if you're seated at the table of the Lord and you know someone who has been excluded from the table of fellowship because of their actions, the Lord may use you to invite them back into fellowship and into repentance. And of course, the cautionary tale in this story is that there's a temptation to instead join our voice with that of the enemy. And that's something to think about. I'll see you tomorrow.